Hello everyone, and I am back for round 2 of another video. So, like I said, it's been a while since I explained anything on this channel, and this channel has changed. It used to be called Disaster Fishburne Disaster Discusses. Used to discuss, the plan was to discuss multiple different philosophical topics, which is, I can still discuss philosophical things, but like, not much anymore. Now the main focus is like the real life Cudoocadian, which is, hey, I'm Jose. I'm the real life Cudoocadian, and I know this like gotta get into a lot of what Cudoocadian even means. It really just means a person who follows the values and mission of Cudoocada, which is like anarchist initiative. Key on the anarchist initiative because it definitely is. The basis for Cudoocada's values and mission is built off 3 different branches of anarchism, which is transhumanism, mutualism, and individualism. Those are 3 different branches within anarchist politics and philosophy. Philosophy that gets into that, and well, that's 3 branches that are in there. There's communism as well, syndicalism, different forms of basically talk about communal, collective mindset stuff. But when it comes to Cudoocada's the main focus is mutualism, transhumanism, and individualism. As recognition that the individual is the smallest form, is basically the basic form for anarchy. It all comes down to the individual, not just the collective, which communism and other like syndicalism and all that would advocate for. So Cudoocadian is more so focused on individual anarchy, utilization of transhumanism to expand the self. Because how in the Cudoocadian values, when it comes to transhumanism, I understand like there's a lot of different views on transhumanism. People support it as progression. Some people see it as, this is the end of humanity. But when it comes as a Cudoocadian, transhumanism is how I view transhumanism. Is transhumanism in the form of medical, using tech to expand the human, and not just the human genome, but the human survival. So you can, and when you put it in the sense of science, it's like, okay, we can change our genetics to the point where, all right, you're not even really, you're still human, but your genetics, you altered your genetics so much to the point where doctors can't really help you unless you keep a medical record of all your genetic changes that you've done to yourself and present it with them and see if they can work with that. But basically, your DNA won't be recognized as normal because you want to have extra additives that you've probably added that they don't recognize. Which couldn't cause some disruptions, but at the same time, you're still human, but you're a little bit more than just human now. Like, you're not the same human as everybody else more because you made all those changes. So that's what the transhumanism is we're looking forward to. It's not making you not human. I mean, yes, you can. There is the cybernetic route. You can go that route if that's the route that works for you. It's all based on you. This is where, again, down to the individual side. You can either utilize transhumanism for the genetic changes and altercations that you need to increase your ability to survival against and your immunity against diseases, increase your survival, your longevity. Or you can go the cybernetic route, make yourself completely digital, or like simulated immortality, basically, is what I call the cybernetic route. Simulated immortality in the literal sense and metaphorical sense. You're simulating immortality as well as you're literally simulating immortality. So Yeah. Well, not your simulated immortality. That's what that is. Okay, I kind of messed it up a little bit, but still, it's down to the individual to decide which route you want to take with transhumanism. But specifically, transhumanism is just for the medical benefit, the medical expansion upon human survival. That is what medical is here for, to help healing and expansion. Expansion, because why wouldn't medical not be there for expansion? Where you're trying to use things to boost your immunity so that way you can survive against certain things. That's expansion. You want to expand upon that, and that's where transhumanism comes into play. That's where, as a Cudoocadian, that's where we believe the focus of transhumanism should be, on the specific medical benefits of it. Not about becoming immortal, some techno god or something. No, none of that. Be expanding beyond God or some crap like there used to be occult views on transhumanism that some cults had back, like old cults that had ideas about transhumanism back in the day and their versions of it. But this is strictly a scientific version of Cudoocadianism, of a scientific version of transhumanism. Sorry, got a fly bugging me. Specifically a scientific version, and that is actually, there was a person who coined it, who switched it over to a more scientific perspective. Some author or something. I don't know I don't remember the person. I didn't bother to remember the person. I didn't read any of their works. I was just looking at some history and found out there was a guy who mainly connected transhumanism to science and all that, in a science, or basically in a more science manner. Basically, brought it to a more scientific matter. If I'm saying that correctly, I'll get to that later. But yeah. But as a Cudoocadian, yes, and this we believe in utilizing transhumanism for medical purposes, as well as mutualism. We believe in utilizing mutualism as for what it's literally stated for: anarchist thought, anarchist thought on economic approach. Mutualism is basically work do mutual aid. We can achieve particular things, and that is true. Do mutual aid. Use mutual aid to help each other achieve a goal. So now it's more so applied in the workforce. But actually, when it comes to the workforce, in Cudoocada, in Cudoocada values, or say Cudoocadian, I'll get into that Cudoocada later. Cudoocada is it's a little simulated nation that I created that has the basis of the values that I support, and this is the contribution of the name Cudoocadian. The Cudoocadian values, when it comes to mutualism and mutualism for market anarchy. All right. Basically, all right. Person works with another person for, like, saying resources. Okay, you have this resource. Say if you have I need a hammer, I need a hammer because I'm trying to nail some pieces of wood together, Someone else has that hammer, but, they need wood. You know what I'm saying? They need some wood. Okay. I got wood. He has a hammer. I got some wood. He got a hammer. I'm nailing only a few pieces of wood. I got other woods to spare. I got my wood. I gathered the wood. Now we trade. What we do is, we don't even have to trade. I just need the hammer, and I give you some wood for utilizing the hammer. You know what I'm saying? And give you some wood for letting me use the hammer. Now, against that's obviously I understand it's bartering trade, but Cudoocada, we're not necessarily against monetary if it comes to that. That's why we still believe in we still understand the importance of money as it helps ease the amount of labor you have to do for trade. You know, you have to do for trade. It eases the amount of labor. But the goal, the main focus should be putting yourself in a position to be more self-sufficient. So this, and utilizing the mutual aid to help you get into that point of self-sufficiency. That's where the mutual aid is to be utilized. So yes, I'm building myself a hut, but okay, how do I make my own hut sustainable? What do I need now to understand? To build another hut. If I need to build another hut, okay, I understand I needed a hammer. I know how to get the nails, I know how to get the wood. I just didn't have the hammer, and that's the tool necessary to do the job. Okay, so what I want to do is I need to make the tool. I need to understand the tool to make the tool, right? So, and I need to know how it's made. And this is where knowledge comes into big play of everything, the free flow of knowledge. As a Cudoocadian, I support the free flowing of knowledge because knowledge helps a society build helps a society build its productivity as well as build to a self-sustaining society. I can be self-sustaining with the knowledge necessary to be self-sustaining, as well as another individual can be. I do not want to depend on giving this guy constantly trading wood with this guy to use a hammer, which is a simple tool that can be made so long as I just know how to make it and what materials to get to make it. So I see a wood is hammer sometimes made from metal, steel, metal, iron, metal, and wood. So I need some iron, metal, and wood together, and that's what would be my focus: how to get some iron, wood, so I can connect to a piece of wood and make myself a hammer. And then it's all about remaking that, finding ways to remake all that. And that's where the knowledge comes into play, having the knowledge. Because, yeah, I understand resources, okay, they're finite. But knowledge is infinite. So, by knowledge being infinite, as long as I have the knowledge, I find ways to get the resources. Necessary to create what I need to create to enhance my sustainability. So that's one of the key, and that's the key value in knowledge and the free flowing of knowledge, which comes to, this is where that gets applied to books. Books become really like an all, like, how the Bible is, the Christians, that's how books of knowledge, of engineering knowledge and all that should be to a Cudoocadian. A Cudoocadian should value books almost as like they're sacred, because books are the free flow of knowledge. When you have a book of knowledge, that book is forever with you. And you can find ways how to preserve that book and make it last forever. Almost forever. But you can keep that book. You can rewrite the information too with a book. Book is a key source to free flow knowledge. Because once you have that information, once you possess that information, it is hard to not unpossess it. You have it now. You can remake it. You can respread. You can copy it and spread it all over. And that helps you be independent. And that is why we want knowledge to be free, and in book form or paper form or any form that's free. Because once you get into the digital realm, it's now somebody else controls it, unless you have like an external flash drive. But see, flash drives can be fried just like a book, but flash drives a little bit more. One EMP, that flash drive is done. An EMP to a book, book's still there, you know. Book survived the EMP wave if it wasn't too close to the source of the EMP wave to the point where it could catch fire and burn up. But you know, because EMPs have heat to them, have a form of heat to them. But books, you know, you ain't got an EMP a book get EMP, you know, or like flash drives, you know, they get damaged. It's done. A book, you get damaged. All right, it's information is still there. It's partly damaged. It's a little bit damaged, but you can still see some things, you know. See some things, make it out. I mean, also like I said, you recopied it. You do that with flash drives too. Like I said, I'm not knocking flash drives. They say with a book, it's right there, you know. You ain't got to worry about it being hacked, anything corrupted, whatever. Book right there, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got to worry about open up a document that you got a processing document that you got to pay for just to open this up. It is like the control for knowledge is become real in a sense, and I advise a lot of people to look more into that. Like, control of knowledge is very serious and needs to be dealt with accordingly. But at the same time, as a Cudoocadian, that is where the value of books come into play. Books should be treated as sacred. Knowledge should be free-flowing. We should be sharing knowledge. That way, your neighbor doesn't have to keep coming to you for resources and all that. Or they can come for you resources, but they're coming to you for resources and information. You don't want that to happen. So, just give them the information, all the full information on how to do that for them to be self-sustaining. So that way they can be self-sustaining. That way they're less in your hair, you know? And just helps keep people at ease, you know? It just helps bring comfort to everybody because now they know what they're doing in life, you know? And if there is some people who struggle with knowing what to do, this is where the push for mental health comes into play. Mental health being valued by a Cudoocadian, as mental health plays a large part in how we maneuver ourselves in society. And I'm about to run out of time on my phone, but this is just half of it. I'll discuss more as time goes on.